Last night I was most excited and most pleased with just our talk about this all year, but just our identity showing through. Sorry, but controlling the glass, being able to get 16 offensive rebounds. I think it was plus 17 on the boards, and then down the stretch, just really being able to execute and take care of the ball. In March, you have to be able, at least to me, to control the paint, control the glass, and then value possessions. We had 7 turnovers in the first half, ended up with 2 in the second half, and we were able to create some separation. And the guys just living in the moment, with it being a road game. I expect it to be close to a road game tomorrow. I played Purdue before. I've seen how they travel, so I expect it to be maybe not as crazy, but pretty close. So we're just excited about the opportunity.
Start here, go to the left.
Jay, congratulations again. I have 2. One is on what you just said. Can you tell us, what did it feel like when you came out from the tunnel and heard the decibel of the boos in that building for a neutral, quote unquote, game? What did that feel like? What went through your mind at that moment? And then my other question is, if you could talk about facing Braden Smith, just what kind of challenges does he pose? What kind of matchup do you think that is? Thank you.
Yeah, with the environment, we kind of picked up on it on the bus ride over. You can see all the Mizzou fans, the route we took, and just everything going on. And then I could hear them before I actually went out there. As the game was getting closer and as it got under 5 minutes, you could really start to hear them. Then walking out there, you could feel it. It felt like a road game, but it still felt like that big moment of being in the tournament, which is always exciting. So it was fun. It was fun. And then Braden Smith, man. He's good. Let's start there. He puts a lot of pressure on you. Just his IQ, his poise, his ability to just command the team. He almost runs it himself. Matt Painter is a great coach, but when you have a point guard like that, that's like having a great coach on the court, and you can just see it with how he commands the team. So for us, we gotta give him different looks. We got to give him different coverages. He's seen everything, but we got to keep him guessing. We got some stuff that we feel could kind of slow him down and make him think a little bit more than he usually does. So we'll try to do that.
Left-hand side, Jay.
Michael Presti, NCAA.com. Coach, when you got these guys together and you're trying to change the narrative of a program and you have a lot of new people, what did you have to give them from the start to even remotely dream of having a moment, it would lead to a moment like this? And second part of that, and I realize a stat like this might not be on your radar screen right now, but no one's ever had a bigger turnaround. Does that mean something to you personally to have been a part of that?
The first part was I wanted to make sure we had a clear identity of who we needed to be and how we were going to win, and why the team was built the way it was built. And I felt me and the staff did a great job of explaining that to the players, of giving as much clarity as possible. So one of the first meetings, it was, all right, everybody, Malik's going to be our leading scorer. It's just the way we're going to play, how we're going to operate. Is everybody good with that? Everybody's like, yeah, we're good with that. So just trying to give them as many answers before we got started, I felt helped us, because it kind of took that pressure off everybody. Like, this is what we're doing. This is why we're going to be good. This is how we're going to be good, and this is how we're going to execute it. So just try to do that as simple as possible. And for the turnaround question, I haven't really reflected on the season yet, and it just shows that we had the right people in the building, with the players, with the staff, and then also with the support from the university, from the administration, and the fans. Like, our fans were great this year. Especially coming down the stretch. So for me, that's just a reflection of that. And making sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody understands what we're trying to do and execute. That's my part of it. And just making sure we're moving in the right direction. But it started with getting the right players and the right staff.
Coach, talk a little about the game planning for Purdue. In the lead up a little while back to NC State, you're talking about picking your poison, whether it's limiting the perimeter shooting with Paul McNeil or down low with Van Al Newman.
Yep.
Here's kind of a similar setup where are you going to decide to put an emphasis on limiting Braden Smith and Lawyer, or is it going to be more down low with Clough and TKR? Which one are you going to try to limit more?
I mean, that's a great question because they have a lot of weapons. For me, these are the best games because you can kind of just throw everything at them and see what's kind of sticking. So, we'll, like all games, we'll have multiple game plans that we can kind of adjust and adapt to depending on how the game's going. A lot of it starts with foul trouble and kind of things like that. But, you'll see, and we've always done this, and you'll see it tomorrow, like we play a bunch of different defenses, and we're going to come in and do what we do tomorrow. For us, it's just trying to execute what we are and what we're good at, and then just tweaking it depending on how the game goes and how it starts. Of course, you got to always think about the ball screen coverage. I think it's the biggest part of the game, how they like to put Kaufman-Wren in the pocket and how they like to let him kind of facilitate, and then the screening actions for Lawyer is a big part of it too. So just my thing with them is just not letting them get comfortable. They're the number one offense in the country, like analytically. So I got to try to find a way to disrupt their rhythm somehow. We'll get it figured out. It may take 10 minutes. It may take a whole half, but eventually we'll find something and just kind of go from there.
We're here and then up front. Go.
Jay, Malik, Tre, and Dante all mentioned how much they enjoyed playing in a road environment like last night.
Yep.
You guys are 8-2 on the road, 3-3 neutral site. What is it about playing in that kind of road environment like you might see tomorrow that gets you guys going, or maybe have like a different kind of juice or momentum going as you enter the game?
It just all kind of starts with the chip that we had and how the chip of what we just kind of had, this kind of us against everybody mentality. And it started early on with kind of where we were picked in the league, towards the bottom, not having any big Monday games and kind of just being, it's Miami. So we've had that chip on our shoulder the whole year, and the road game lets us really buy into that and live into that moment. And I think the guys enjoy that, and it lets us play our best basketball. And we expect the same thing tomorrow with Purdue. They've been one of the best programs since I've been coaching. It's almost been like a blue blood. The only thing they haven't done is won a national championship, but they've been at the highest level for a long time. And that's just a testament to Coach Painter. And so for us, it's just another environment where we'll be the underdog, we'll be outnumbered, but that's when we play our best.
With having Malik and Tre both coming from Big Ten programs, and both of them having that chip because they both maybe felt, and Tre alluded to it here, that they were both maybe undervalued there in those programs. Do you think will that be a plus, or can that be a minus tomorrow when they're playing against a Big Ten opponent? Will they maybe try too hard and it gets too much in their head? How do you talk to them about that? Because it's a little more personal for players who played in that league and have played against Purdue before.
Yeah, it's a great question, and I would be naive to think that it's not going to be some type of emotion that comes with it, because there is familiarity and there is somewhat of a rival with Malik and Indiana and Purdue, and what that feels like in Michigan and Purdue, with Purdue being at the top of the league every year. So, for me, it's try to get them to stay as level-headed as possible, but also letting them live in the moment a little bit and just go out and attack it. And that's our whole thing, just go and get it, go flow, go, aggressively and doing it, but also doing it with poise and with patience. So that's the part where I got to kind of reel them in at times. But last night was an emotional game. There's a lot of emotion within the game, former teammates, former staffs, road game. So this game will have its own emotion in it, and what you just talked about will be a big part with it with them. But them being seniors, it'll take them a little bit, but I expect them by the first media to be under control.
Can I just also follow up on that? How much is it a benefit that they know Purdue so well, both of them?
No, they do, and they know the tendencies. They know, one thing I will say about Purdue, I've played against them before, coached against them before. They have the tendencies that have carried over. like all great programs. Now he does a great job of disguising it and having different offenses, but usually it gets to the same thing and the same actions. So understanding the triggers and when people are here, this is coming. When they throw the ball here, this is what's happening. So they already have that and been talking about it in film and our prep. And so just, I guess that's the biggest part in the short turnaround is you have people who have competed against them, which always helps.
This is the first Big Ten opponent you've faced all year. Is there a certain play style that comes differently in that conference that you're not really accustomed to seeing during your time in other leagues throughout your career?
The physicality in the Big Ten, in the history of the league, but especially I've been coaching. This is one of those leagues, and Purdue's no different, where they play 2 5-men. And they're big and physical. And you look at Michigan, you look at Michigan State, Purdue, Nebraska, Wisconsin. They all play a very physical brand with 2 bigs that you don't see a lot anymore. And so that's the one thing about it. And then on the perimeter, there's always great shooting. You know, it goes to the region of the conference in the Midwest with those states and those schools, just kind of how it's built through grassroots. It really shows in college. But I think just the physicality, the bigger 4 and 5 men, less of a shooting 4, more of a banging physical 4, has always been kind of the calling card of the Big Ten.
We have about 7 minutes to go. We have a question right here in the middle.
Jay, you guys had an unbelievable season, but one of the issues all year long has been your free throws, and it's kind of been a big plague for you. You went 3 of 8 at the first half.
Yeah.
I know we're right next to the game. Is there anything you guys can do to try to fix that or make it better, or is it just getting to the paint or getting to the line at a higher volume and having that even out?
There you go. There you go. You know, when you build a team certain ways, you give up certain things. So, you know, my thing for this first year was I wanted to make sure we could compete and control the paint, control the glass, be able to rebound offensive, get kind of 40% of our misses back. Now, when you do that, some of the shooting and some of the other stuff goes away, so you have to make up for it. You know, my thing is kind of like you explained for this year, how can we make 19 free throws? All right, it may take 35 attempts. It may take 32 attempts. Well, then that's what we got to get. And by doing that, it puts so much pressure on the other team with foul trouble and with not wanting to foul and the constant assault on the paint and on the rim. It just kind of evens out where, you know, you have a game where teams make 14, 13 threes, and you're still able to win by 6 and 8 because you made 19 free throws. You had 16 second chance points. So it's just kind of the formula with how our team built. We work on free throws. We shoot them. They shoot, make 100 a day, 200 a day. We do it a lot, but it's just sometimes you're good at stuff, sometimes you're not. So we had to figure out, you know, for us, it's just about getting as many as possible.
Jay, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while because you've talked all year about this formula about, you know, just make more than the other team attempts and 40% of the offensive rebounds, all these numbers and statistics. Where do your analytics come from? I mean, is that something, where are these numbers and these formulas coming from?
So I kind of take it from teams I felt were built like us and why they were good. And why they were good offensively. So it's 4 teams I kind of looked at: Arizona, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Florida. I had Michigan at first, but they were kind of outlier because they made 10 threes per game. So, you know, with Arizona, I've said this all year, they were number 1 team in the country, and they only make 6 threes a game. But they also are the number 3 offense. So you're trying to figure out, like, okay, why are they so good? You know, and then you look at their numbers, and what was true across all these teams was Arizona now, they shoot a lot of free throws, but they are really good at free throw shooting. They're one of the best free throw shooting, but they make 20 a game. You go to Gonzaga, they make 17 a game. Tennessee was like 18. Florida's like 19. So, okay. And then the offensive rebounding, everybody was at least 37% or higher. Okay. And then with threes, it was like that mean average was like 7.2, right around where we were. And then the second chance points was right around 14. So I kind of saw that and read into the numbers and felt for us this is a simple, similar formula that we could do. for this year of why we could be good offensively. And we have been for the most part. We've had a few games where we struggled, but we've been a lot better offensively than I imagined. I thought we would be built more defensively, and we actually been more of an offensive-based team this year, which has shocked me. But just looking at teams that were built like us and why they were good, and then kind of reading into the numbers and seeing what it was, and that's kind of where I came up with it. Yeah, so far so good.
Anything else for the head coach of Miami? Yep. Final question right here.
Coach, last night really felt like a tone setter for Dante. How have you seen him come into this new role ever since that midseason, late season adjustment with him and True? It seems like he's really taken a step forward now. Yeah,
Dante has grown throughout the season. And it could have been easy to start Dante at the beginning of the year just with the preseason and the summer he had. But True also had a great summer. I thought that was kind of where we needed to go, and it was for a part of the year. And then I felt we got stagnant throughout the year because our bench, we weren't using it as much and not getting a lot of production off the bench, especially once Marcus got out. So I felt we needed some pop off the bench. So flipping True and Dante, I felt put everybody in a bucket that they could be comfortable with. And so Dante is a great connector. He's really good at playing with other really good players. So putting him out there with that starting group, he's able to connect and do the little things and the winning things that really show up. And then it gave me the ability to bring True off the bench and put him more in the scoring role. So when Malik's off the court or Sheldon's off the court or Tre's off the court, we coming in the game with some punch off the bench. And so Dante has done a great job of just continuing to buy into the winning plays, and you've seen him develop throughout the year. Like his shooting showed up last night. He hit some big threes for us, but just his ability to defend, his ability to get in the paint and get fouled, and he's starting to make some reads. So he's grown throughout the season. And for me, I hope he stays around as long as possible. I want him to be one of the foundations of our program.
Dante, I just want to ask you about your first experience in March Madness and what it's been like for you, what you anticipated compared to what it really is. And then for really any of you, maybe Tre or Malik, Braden, if you could talk about him. He set the record yesterday for assists. What do you think it'll be like playing against him? What kind of challenges does he pose? Thank you.
For me, it's a blessing. It's something like March Madness. I've been watching as a kid since I learned what basketball was. So to be able to kind of play in the tournament and that type of environment too, and the most importantly, be able to come out with a win, it's nothing short of a blessing. Something that I would have dreamed about when I was growing up, kind of learning how to play basketball. So a great experience. Even better that we were able to get the win also.
Braden Smith, he's a great point guard. Congrats on him getting the assist record. But, we got to show him a lot of crowds. He's a great passer, and he's the field to their offense. So just being able to defend him without fouling and stuff like that, just so we can get an edge on him because he's the field to their offense. So if we can stop him, we can stop Purdue.
Like you said, me and Malik are familiar with Braden Smith playing in the Big Ten. So, like Malik said, just showing them crowds, giving them different looks, and just keeping them in front. I feel like that's the biggest thing, making it tough for him because, like I said, he's a very gifted and good player. So, just making it as tough as possible for him.
Go ahead.
Angela Moran, Wish TV in Indianapolis. Malik, you're very familiar with this Purdue team, being playing at IU for 3 years. How excited are you to go up against the Boilers again? And what do you take from those 3 years that you guys can use as your advantage?
It's going to be a fun game. I'm super excited, not just because I've been at IU and the rival state. It's just because we got a lot at stake, and just playing with these guys, it's always been fun playing with them. It's just another obstacle, another road game that we got to come through, and just having that experience and knowing what they've done on the offensive end and what they do as a program. So just letting these guys know what we're going to see ahead of time and get everybody's minds ready for what we're going to face on Sunday.
Question on the left, gentlemen.
Mike LaPresti, NCAA.com. This is for any of you. You've talked before about the chip on the shoulder mentality a little bit this team has, and obviously that's been good for you during the season. When you get into March and you're playing a team like this at a moment like this, how valuable is it and necessary is it to have that sort of approach and mentality?
Tre, then Dante, please.
I mean, I don't feel like it changes. It's the same chip we've had all season. Just because we're in March and just because we're playing another good team, it doesn't really change. It's the same chip. And I feel like that's the biggest thing, and that's something that other teams can get misconstrued, that they have to change when it comes to March. You just have to be yourselves, be the same people, and I feel like the teams that are able to do that are the teams that come out on top.
Yeah, I think like Tre said, to keep it is definitely important. I think one big thing we've carried ourselves a lot of years is that we're ready to face anybody. We'll play against anybody, no matter conference, wherever they're from. And I think a team like Purdue, top ranked nationally, one of the better teams in their conference, and so I think to kind of carry over that chip, knowing that it's games like this that we wanted with the team, with the name, with the players that they have, just kind of knowing going into the game, it's going to be a fight, but it's nothing that we'll ever shy away from. I think within our program.
TV, talking about that theme of adversity that you guys have faced and conquered again and again, starting off, this tournament, going to St. Louis for playing Missouri, and even next game, the timing of it with it being at noon, not much rest from last night until Sunday. How do you guys feed off of that in terms of getting ready for how to prepare?
Malik and then Tre.
I mean, just got to deal with it. I mean, we're going to be prepared for any moment that comes our way. Just stay the course and just continue to just keep pushing and pushing. And, I mean, we've been in bad spots our whole season, so we're just going to keep fighting.
Me personally, we just can't overcomplicate it. I mean, we can't get too high, we can't get too low. I mean, just continue to look at every team the same way and attack it head on. We have all day today to rest. I mean, last night was a late game, but I mean, nobody cares. I mean, they're not gonna use that as an excuse or anything like that. So I mean, we just got to come out, rest today, take care of our bodies, but also stick to what we do. Don't change nothing and attack it the same way we have been all year.
I have two, if that's okay. I want to ask Tre and Malik, with the experience that you have in the Big Ten, just how valuable is that to be able to play an opponent that you know so well, and what have you been able to, without sharing any secrets, how much have you been able to talk to your teammates about Purdue? And then for Dante, I'm just wondering, what was the celebration like last night? It was late, but how late did you guys stay out? Did you have some kind of team meal or anything? Or was there anything, or you just went back to your rooms and went to sleep? Thank you.
Let's let Dante answer first about the party.
I think the celebration was really just within the locker room, kind of getting back there with the team, coaches, everybody kind of involved, being able to put our sticker going into the next round, just kind of enjoying that. But I think by the time we left the arena, I think we're already ready for the next game. I think the biggest thing for us was that it was a quick turnaround we have today, but even then, going back, getting a good meal, a good shower, and then also a good night's rest, I think was the most important thing to us.
Your familiarity with the Big Ten, advantage or no?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's an advantage, but yeah, just being familiar with the opponent, just giving these guys a heads up, like I was saying earlier, just a heads up on the type of actions and concepts they like to run. They got a lot of plays in their playbook, so we got to be prepared for everything. And just being prepared for everything, I mean, that's what I've been telling them, just showing them the little concepts and how to guard ball screens actions, because those are going to be vital in this game.
I feel like just our experience with them is going to help us a lot. I mean, Purdue's been doing what they do for a long time. This is nothing new. Coach Painter's been doing. He's had the program down pat and done a great job with the program. But I mean, me being able to play them last year 3 times, knowing what it takes to win, it's just a big thing that I can not only relate to the young guys, but to Malik as well. Me and Malik bounce us a lot of ideas and thoughts off of each other on how we can help each other win. Him playing in the Big Ten for 3 years and being familiar with the program and what it means to him, I feel like it's going to be a big thing for us.
Can I ask one thing? Is there a flip side where they know you too? They also know the two of you, right?
Nah.
Probably not so much traits
Have you
here.
changed a lot since you played there?
Yeah, I mean the way I play here is quite different than how I played at IU. So I mean, we're going to be able to put me in space, and it's going to be harder to double team and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much.
We've both grown a lot from last year, just in
Yeah.
different aspects, mentally, physically, and obviously our basketball games have changed a lot. I played 1 year in the Big Ten. Coming from Auburn, they weren't really familiar with my game. I mean, like I said, I played them 3 times, so they're gonna know a little bit. I mean, they're gonna have a good scout. They have a good program, so I know they're gonna prepare as best as possible. But we just got to be us.
Question on the left-hand side.
This is for each of you. What's the most important thing Coach Lucas has given you individually? What means the most to you? What is most powerful to you?
I mean, his self-belief in us, the way he trusts everybody on the team to do their job at a high level, and then the confidence he gives in everybody to go out there and just compete and have fun and leave it all on the court.
Me personally, just reminded me of like why I'm here. Me just being counted out, people thinking I wasn't able to play basketball at a high level, things like that. That helps me keep that chip on my shoulder, helps me continue to play at a high level.
I think for me, just kind of being a young guy coming in and having a bit of a bigger role within the team, just kind of installing that confidence in me, the same way that my teammates do, installing the confidence in me that I'm out there for a reason. I provide a lot of positives for our team, especially things that might not always show up within the stat sheet, the box score, stuff like that. So just kind of remind me all the positives I've done that have gotten me here, and just making sure that I don't ever shy away from them.
Question right here.
Dante, what's the biggest thing you've learned from this senior class of Tre, Malik, and Ernest that you'll take with you over these next few years of your eligibility?
I would say to just never shy away from who I am. Obviously, college is different. You got guys who are bigger, more physical, might be more experienced within college, but then also it's just like kind of knowing that I've been a really good player here before, been recruited, and I think kind of coming here, just always remembering the things that got me here, things like toughness, competitiveness, kind of stuff like that. So never shying away from them, never shying away from the things who make me me, and just going out there and just having fun every night, whether it's a game, practice, individual workout by myself, just making sure I'm always having fun with it and always loving the game of basketball the same way I always have.
Right back up front.
I want to ask all of you, what did it feel like, if you could just describe or remember, when you ran out onto the court last night and everybody was booing? It was really, really loud. I'm just wondering what went through each of your minds, because it may be similar tomorrow. What did that feel like right when you go out from the tunnel and you're hearing this deafening boos? What does that feel like for you?
Dante, start us off on that one, please.
I think it was amazing for me. I think one of the best things about it is that I've always wanted to play in the tournament, but I think me also being a competitor, kind of having that extra level of adversity, it kind of being closer to their home, I think it just added to the fun for me, and then also added on just that really want to come out with the win.
Running out to all the boos, I mean, I embrace the villain role. I like it. I like playing on the road. I feel like it's more fun. It gives you it kind of gives you a little motivation. Got everybody going against you. Proving 17,000 people wrong is really fun. I enjoy it. And I feel like our team takes on that role as well.
It just added more fuel to the fire for us, and just made us even more excited to go out there and just play. And then the only thing I really could remember from the cheers was the M-I-Z. So that's all I really remember from what was going on out there. Everything else was just go out there and have fun.
Yep, again.
I want to ask also, piggybacking about Coach Lucas, Jay Lucas. CY said when I first met him that the thing about Jay is that he's demanding without being demeaning. Can you guys talk about just his personality and how, when you see him, he just seems like this mild-mannered guy, but how can he balance that? How do you feel he balances being demanding but not demeaning. Thank you.
Malik, we'll start with you and go that way.
At the end of the day, he all wants what's best for us, so we understand that. And then just going out there and competing at a high level, he's going to yell at every single one of us, whether you're the top player on the team or you're the walk-on on the team. He wants the best from everybody. So just having that ability and having that from a coach, it just makes us all go. And then off the court, he's just a great guy. I mean, he's going to talk to everybody. He's going to interact with everybody, and it's just a great guy to be around.
I tip my hat to Coach. He's very professional. I feel like that's the biggest word when it comes to it, because like you said, he's very mild-mannered, but he holds us to a high standard, and that's what comes with being professional. He's been around the game of basketball and around great coaches and around great programs, so he just carries that on with him to his own program here at Miami, and he does a really good job of being professional and carrying himself the right way, but also holding us to a high standard and holding our entire program, coaches as well, to a high standard to understand what we want to get done and what his goal is for his program and his teams.
I think like one thing Tre said is that he's been around the game. He's been a coach at high-level programs with high-level players. He's also been a player too. So I think one great thing about him is that he kind of understands the mind of a player a little bit. There'll always be times where he'll get on us when he really needs to get his message across. But I think the best thing about him is that he understands us. He understands how to really get his message across, whether that's a one-on-one conversation, whether that's something that he might need to emphasize a little bit more. But I think he does a really great job kind of understanding how we receive messages, kind of how to get that message across too.